At this event, people from Amazon and Alexa made it very clear that in addition to Sports Highlight coming up, you will be able to perhaps buy sports tickets to events, buy movie tickets, arrange fantasy football teams, and I think somewhere down the road, maybe not too far down the road, given the NBA on Prime deal, they will allow sports betting on the television set through Alexa Plus.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Are we going to sit here today and acknowledge that the Indianapolis Colts right now are the best team in the AFC?
They are right now.
They can run the football with Taylor. They got a competent quarterback, the way he's playing right now, in Daniel Jones. They are well coached.
They never punt.
They never punt.
They never punt.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Well, maybe that Chiefs dynasty is actually crumbling. And listen, I don't blame you for that, but you would be wrong. Here's what actually happened in that game last night. See, the Kansas City Chiefs dominated the Jacksonville Jaguars pretty much up and down that field. They outgained them, Donnie. You ready by this? By over 150 yards of offense.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Question, where's the $100,000 going? Like, if I'm going to give it to Amari DiMercato as an apology? It does give us a little bit of insight, though, into that moment. Like, I wondered what Gannon had said to DiMercato there. It obviously did, cost Arizona a football game in a division that they cannot afford. But that is an interesting one.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Good morning. Hope you're having a fabulous day. I know that I am. Joining me as always, Tyrone A. Johnson. He's having a terrible day. You know, this is the beauty of sports. It's why we love sports so much. Just let's go back in time, if we can, for 24 hours. Because 24 hours ago, I was bemoaning the fact that this might be one of the worst weeks into the weekends in New York sports in a long time, right? The New York Yankees get eliminated by the Toronto Blue Jays. The New York Jets are the only winless team in football. They have the Broncos out in London to start off the Sunday docket of NFL games. And, of course, the New York Giants, coming off a terrible loss to the Saints, had a host last night, Thursday night, the 4-1 Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions. This had all the makings of a horrendous, unacceptable, depressing week for New York sports fans. But this is why sports is so great. The Jets still suck. We can accept that because yesterday, New York sports fans got not one, but a double-headed gift from the collective sports gods. Let's start off with football because it's what we care most about here. Eagles, Giants, the great Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Super Bowl champions. They demolished the Giants. They own the Giants. And then here come the Giants on a Thursday night with 20,000 Eagle fans in their building and a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart and a rookie fullback playing tailback in Cam Scatterbo. And what happened last night? Woo! The sports god said, New York, we feel for you. We're going to give you one. And the New York Giants not only saved their season for the moment, but saved the jobs of both Joe Shane and Brian Dable last night with a thorough ass-kicking of the Philadelphia Eagles, who are now officially a fractured, broken team at 4-2. They got held scoreless in the second half of last night's game, and you would have thought that Tom Brady got resurrected and jumped onto the field rocking a Giants blue jersey in the name of Jackson Dart. It was crazy. The New York Giants last night looked like an actual football team. Their defense, fantastic. Pressure on the quarterback, stopping the run after the first series of the game where Saquon had 30 yards on his first 2 carries. Offensively, lost our best player, the New York Giants said. The media said, you have no passing game. And then Jackson Dart said, I'll make do with what I have. I'll throw for just under 300 yards. I'll score like 9 touchdowns last night. And I remind Philly that, yes, we recognize and we do respect. You are defending Super Bowl champions. There's a chance, albeit a small one, that you'll figure this out and get back to the playoffs and make a deep playoff run, I don't know, maybe to another Super Bowl. But for last night, for 3 hours of our lives, the New York Giants dominated the Philadelphia Eagles. And let's all be honest about it. We enjoyed every second of it. Watching Nick Sirianni curse into his headset, watching Jalen Hurts on the sideline by himself, because he ain't got no friends on that team, with his little laptop trying to figure out, why did I throw that pass and have it intercepted and returned for 68 yards, effectively ending the game. And then the best part of all, you have this Fred Flintstone character for the New York Giants, Cam Scatterboo, who's becoming the most popular guy in the league, who ran over and through the Eagles defense. Now look, I don't want to get crazy. The New York Giants are not making the playoffs, in my opinion, and ultimately, I think they're going to be on the outside looking in. But for one night last night, it's why we came up with the phrase, Tyrone and I, many years ago, you may not know this, but we came up with it, any given Sunday.
That's right.
On Thursday, which is our phrase. Someone else came up with any given Sunday. We then took it and said, any given Sunday on Thursday. Yeah, that's what we get credit for. We trademarked it, so don't try to steal it right now. We own that bitch, and we're going to use it because that's what happened yesterday. The Giants, off the embarrassing loss to the Saints, with seemingly nothing to play for other than trying to save the coaches and general manager's job and, sure, develop a young quarterback, were playing in the deep end yesterday. The Eagles are still a really good football team, but let's call it the way it is. We know from the Giant perspective, they're now building a young quarterback, and it does look like he's got all the makings of a star. He's going to struggle still. Yesterday was his best game of the 3 that he has played, and the other 2 games aren't even close. He threw for 111 yards in his first game against the Chargers. They lost to the Saints, 5 turnovers, 5 consecutive possessions. Last night was money. Last night was why Brian Daboll has been so high on him and why Giants fans finally felt like they got a little energy. They got goosed last night. Cam Scatterboo. All of a sudden, Larry Zonka is back running the football. You know, white guy.
Yeah, it's
for
good.
the
It's
New York
good comparison.
Giants.
It's good comparison.
That's the best
he
I
played
got.
just like him.
Frank Gifford's running the football again.
Frank Gifford.
For the Giants. But the Eagles are in trouble. So let's focus for a second on the Eagles. I still think the Eagles, talent-wise, are as good as any football team on the planet. But there's clearly a problem. And it's no longer a Super Bowl hangover. Now it's tangible. Now it's back-to-back losses for a team that should never lose back-to-back games. And to be fair, is better position by position from a talent standpoint than damn near every other guy on the Giants roster. And yet you got shut out in the second half. A.J. Brown is a problem. As great as he is, and I think he's fantastic, he's untradeable contractually, and he is a problem. He can't even acknowledge having lunch after the game yesterday with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. And here's the rub, and I'm sure in Philly, from the football standpoint, we'll get to the Phillies coming up in a bit. Here's what last night's game did. There's a good percentage of Eagle fans that even with all the success you guys have had and the Super Bowl win last year and the Super Bowl MVP, there is a segment of Eagle fans, and I think they're wrong, but last night feeds their engine, that do not believe in Jalen Hurts as a top 5, top 10 for some of you, franchise quarterback. Jalen Hurts looked lost yesterday. He did. He was overwhelmed by the Giants' defensive line. The interception that goes back 68 yards and leads to a Giant touchdown was a bad throw. And that's why, for those of you, and I know there's a decent segment of Eagle fans that have never believed in Jalen Hurts, I think he's more a product of the system around him than him being the leader of that system, that will use last night to foster the belief that Jalen Hurts is not the guy. There's another segment of the population that says Nick Sirianni is a terrible head coach and has only been along for the ride. He doesn't call the offensive plays. He's not a defensive coordinator. He's on the sideline cursing into the microphone. And games like that allow those types of opinions to foster and grow like they're mold in a lab. And that's what's going on in Philly. But I ain't a Philly guy. I did play third base for the Phillies back in '93. I was the backup, everyone knows that, to Scott Rowland. That's just,
Rowland wasn't on that team.
Dave Hollins. I was on that team. I was friends with all those guys, of course. I was a part of Macho Row. You may remember that. But Tyrone
He had a big
is
mustache back
a
then.
Philly fan. We'll do the Phillies in a second.
Yeah.
Just give me, if I need to ask you one adjective to describe last night's game from an Eagle perspective, what would that adjective be?
It'd be garbage.
Garbage.
It'd be garbage.
Is that an adjective? I think it is.
Yes.
Could be a noun also, but
Could
in this
also
case,
be in this.
it is an
It's
adjective.
an adjective in this case.
Yes, in this case, garbage.
Garbage.
What a tough night for you last night.
It was a horrendous night for me.
Yeah.
It was a horrendous night for me. And here's the thing. And the Flyers lost as well. It's a bad night, but I'll say
the
this.
Flyers losing Bobby.
That's right. It did. With Pucks Johnson. What bothered me the most out of all of it, though, was the coach, because he's supposed to avoid situations like this by not calling plays. He's supposed to have the pulse of the locker room.
Right. He does.
They weren't even out there. They go down 14-3. Yeah, they get up 17-14, then they don't score again.
That was it. 17-14. They had the lead. They stole it back. And at that point, we're all saying the same thing. Here we go. The Eagles are going to take over this game. But the Giants' defense stepped up. Jackson Dart was great. Scatterboo was great. Adoree Jackson doesn't want to tackle nobody, especially Scatterboo, because he doesn't want to get hurt, I guess. He'll be cut today if I'm an Eagle fan. But it's glorious. We wake up today and we're living in glorious times. We have peace in the Middle East, and the Giants beat the Philadelphia Eagles on national television.
Whatever.
And in doing so, remember this. For a town that's still getting over the fact that the Yankees have been eliminated from the postseason and the Jets are winless, the New York Football Giants have saved professional sports in New York City until the Knicks start playing games that matter. So thank you, New York Giants, and good for you. Jackson Dart's a star, Scatterboo's a star, and Philly is a broken, fractured team, just like the city and the Liberty Bell. You losers.
Keep this on me for now, right now. Uh-oh. I was the one telling the people out here, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, if they lost the first 2 football games of the season, would still be in the hunt to make a college football playoff. I talked to Joe Lisi quite a bit during the week, and you know what Joe Lisi's been telling me? Notre Dame just might be the best football team in the country right now, and I believe him. I do. Rolling over teams. The offense is out there right now, and I don't think anybody can stop them.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Is it going to be Gabriel over the next 4 or 5 weeks? Or is it going to be?
I know.
Is it going to, but that's where they're at right now, because that mentality, changes. We go from rebuild at 1-3 to all of a sudden at 2-3, the bell goes off, and he in his head, probably drinking a beer at night, goes, "Hey, I can get this team to the playoffs."
You listen,
but that's the way these coaches think.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
So let's just start right there. Malik Neighbors, Tyreek Hill, done for 2025. Think of the managers that invested the draft capital. Man, oh man, what to do?
Yeah, this is really tough. I had people message me, man, I had Neighbors and Hill, and I lost them both in the same week. That's tough. It's a tough day at the office for sure. And that's why you watch us here on FST, Fantasy Sports Today. We're trying to help you.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
At this event, people from Amazon and Alexa made it very clear that in addition to Sports Highlight coming up, you will be able to perhaps buy sports tickets to events, buy movie tickets, arrange fantasy football teams, and I think somewhere down the road, maybe not too far down the road, given the NBA on Prime deal, they will allow sports betting on the television set through Alexa Plus.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Philly, I know it's tough. You can always tell when you've touched a nerve in Philadelphia, at least me personally, when I've touched a nerve, because all the haters come out on social media.
Yeah.
And it took 30 seconds for me to be attacked personally. I didn't attack anybody personally. I'm the biggest Jalen Hurts guy there is in America, but it's okay. I'm here for it. I'm your Huckleberry. If you feel better attacking me on a personal level, then bring it on, because I'm living rent-free in your small heads. That's what's happening right now. You got a broken team. You got a fractured team. You're still defending Super Bowl champions. You're still in first place by yourselves for now, because after Monday night, if Washington beats Chicago, They'll be tied with you for first place. And oh, by the way, when Dallas goes to Carolina and beats the Panthers this weekend, they'll be a half game out of first place. And you're a ship taking on water right now. And those teams are like, we can win the division because the Philadelphia Eagles are a broken team right now. Your best wide receiver's upset. I don't get the ball enough. Wah! Never mind, you just won a Super Bowl and you have more targets than any other receiver on the Eagles. And your quarterback was MVP, right? And by the way, where was Jalen Carter last night? So he misses the first game of the season for spitting on a quarterback, right? Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
And now he's missed another game this season. And one of the storylines I heard, by the way, and if this is accurate, this is bat poop crazy, is that the Eagles were concerned. He has, like, I guess, a nagging heel situation.
Heel and shoulder,
forget about the shoulder, I think, from what I'm about to say. There's a story out there I was reading before the show today that Jalen Carter didn't play because the Eagles were afraid that, excuse me, the MetLife Stadium turf, which I agree is garbage, and there have been more injuries on that turf than any other turf in the country thus far. But they were concerned that he would have a more serious and significant injury if he played with a bad heel on the carpet at MetLife. I thought football was a man's sport. I didn't realize that the Eagles, maybe kind of like their cheerleaders now half men, maybe their players are now half women. No disrespect to women, you're badasses, I love you, nothing but respect for you. But Jalen Carter may not be tough enough to play on the MetLife Stadium turf.
He's tough enough.
Where was he?
He didn't make the decision.
Where was he?
The owner made the decision.
The owner didn't make no decision. He
literally was on the field. Did you watch? He was on the sideline before the game.
Oh, Mr. Lurie.
The owner made the decision.
Mr. Lurie, I'm not sure if I can play today because I don't like the turf at MetLife
this
Stadium.
is going too far. You're a Jets fan. This is going too far. This is where you go one step too far.
I'm a Jet fan, 100%. I'm not a Giant fan, but I'm down with the anti-Philly rhetoric.
Yeah, and that's what this is.
I'm here for all of it.
And I want everybody to enjoy right now.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to last very long.
Is that right?
Enjoy it for as long as you can.
Well,
okay? Because it won't last very long.
While you were watching the Eagles collapse, and that's what it was last night, a collapse, 0 points in the second half.
Yeah.
As the New York Giants get back into the race. The Giants might, the Giants play the Eagles again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In Philly. Beat them again.
Yeah.
Maybe the Giants are in first place when that happens. That's on the table now.
This is what I'm going to do.
Just think about this real quick.
Ethan's coming to work in his draws. We're making a bet.
The Giants have the Broncos next week in Denver. Denver's coming back from London, so that's a weird week for them, right? And then they have Philadelphia in Philly, okay?
Yeah.
Just stop it right there, okay? There's the possibility. If the Philadelphia Eagles, well, let me start with the Giants. If the Giants somehow now go on a run, right?
Yeah.
And they're brimming with confidence right now. If they beat Denver, they get to 3-4.
Yeah.
They would be playing the Eagles to get to 4-4 and be 500, okay?
Yeah.
So play it out. Who do the Eagles play next week?
Minnesota.
Minnesota Vikings. Who knows? With Carson Wentz, revenge game for him. Obviously, the offense is very good.
Or J.J. McCarthy back in there. Eagles win.
I promise you, J.J. McCarthy ain't playing in that game. If he does, I'm with you. But let's just play out my fantasy here, okay? The Eagles lose to Carson Wentz, revenge game for him.
Okay.
And the Minnesota Vikings, they dropped to 4-3. Now it's a legitimately sinking ship.
Well, yeah.
3 consecutive losses. If the Giants then go to Philly and beat them, they're tied in the as records go. They'd both be 4-4, but the Giants have the tiebreaker because they will have beaten them twice. Play it out. All right. The Washington Commodores. Washington plays Chicago this week. That's not going to be an easy game. I think they're better.
Yeah, they can win.
Okay, so what's Washington's record right now as we speak? 3-2.
Yeah.
All right. So they lose that game. They drop down. All right. You see the Commanders right there. They'd be 3-3, right? Yeah. Okay. There's the possibility that in 2 weeks' time, the lowly, embarrassing, incompetent, we're going to fire our head coach and GM, New York Giants, are sitting in first place all by themselves.
There's no way.
That is on the table.
It's not on the table.
That's what happens when you get held scoreless in the second half. When your quarterback throws a bad interception and nobody seems to like him on that team. When your best running back, Saquon Barkley, is still looking for a 100-yard game and gets outrushed by a fullback at Cam Scatterbo.
He played well
when
last
your head
night.
coach doesn't do a damn thing. Check this out. before Halloween, it is not just possible, it is probable that the New York Giants are in first place and the Philadelphia Eagles are on the outside looking in going like this. Mama.
This is ridiculous.
Mama.
This is ridiculous. You know that they're going to drug test you after the show. As soon as you walk out the studio.
I will fail the test.
Woo! This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm having a terrible day, and you're just egging it on. You're egging it on. This is one of the worst days I've had in a long time.
No traffic today. It's beautiful out.
There was no traffic.
Oh, what a great day. What a fantastic
Not a great day. Okay, you even get to the baseball team. We'll get to that later in the show.
Yeah.
That game was terrible. I needed the Eagles to win that game after what happened to me earlier in the night.
Just what happened to you earlier? Oh, with Phillies?
Yeah.
We're going to get to the Phillies in
we'll
one
get
second.
to it eventually. And then my Flyers, okay, down at the barn, they lose. They had a 10-game point streak going back to last season, going into the game against Florida, and then they lose.
It's going to be okay. You know why? Because I'm here for you.
I can't get near a bottle of hooch.
I'm here
I couldn't
to
get near
console
a bottle of hooch.
I'm
dying.
You see this big shoulder right here? You can come over anytime, put that head of yours right there on that shoulder. I'm here for you. What a great day to be alive.
Whatever.
Great football game last night. We're witnessing the emerging two stars on national TV last night in Cam Scatterboo and
what are we doing here? Cam Scatterboo's
I'll
a
say
star.
one last thing about the game. I am not an anti-tush push guy, but I will say this.
That was ridiculous.
4 consecutive tush pushes was just, for me, too much.
It was.
And that's not fun to watch. I respect the fact they're great at it. I am in favor of the tush push, but I think maybe we should limit it to 2 in a row. 4 in a row is just like, what am I watching? It's not entertaining. And this just it. The Giants beat them anyway.
Shedeur Sanders will be starting for the Browns by week 9. I am buying this. I am buying this absolutely. At a certain point, Joe Flacco just not the answer. We know they already made the change. Dylan Gabriel starting this week. We know that. But maybe a team needs a quarterback, and they're willing to trade for Joe Flacco for some level of stability, and then we simply get nothing out of Dylan Gabriel. He is a rookie quarterback when it's all said and done. Maybe there's just no production from him. So why not just move on to a different rookie quarterback that you have just to see what you have? And then, as George, as you mentioned over the top, you have to evaluate going into next year's draft. So I will absolutely buy this.
The next 4 weeks, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Miami, New England. I mean, the question is this. If they truly believe that Gabriel could be a future starter, you got to give him more than 4 weeks, right? That's 4 weeks is not enough. Minnesota, that's a rough game, all right, being played with England this week. Pittsburgh, they haven't have a defense. Miami is not very good. New England's supposed to have a good defense, hasn't here. I want to sort of go. I mean, I think Shedeur Sanders is going to start at some point this week. I don't think it's going to be by week 10, although that does make sense here to name him the starter during the bye week, get him 2 weeks here. I'm going to go more, maybe double digits, week 12, week 14, somewhere around there. Because I want to give Gabriel a longer run. I think Gabriel might do some damage here against these lesser defenses here. So I think give him a longer runway here. That being said, I do not think Gabriel is the long-term future of this team. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback at all here. I think he's a number 2 at best here. Sanders could be a number 1. I have doubts about him too. I think Sanders has a better shot. So by week 9, by week 10, I'll sell that. But if you would give me a couple more weeks, I would have bought it.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tough day in Philadelphia. Your Flyers lost to the Panthers, I think, 2-1. Your Eagles get shut out in the second half, lose by 17 points to the New York Giants. And right around before the second half started for the Eagles game and Giants game, the Phillies were playing in an elimination game out in L.A., trying to force a Game 5 back in Philadelphia against the Dodgers. And it was one of the better postseason games thus far from a standpoint of, the odds that we love about sports.
Oh, yeah.
Tied 1-1, going into extra innings, a scoreless 10th. We go to the 11th,
Bottom
right?
of the 11th, yeah.
And in the bottom of the 11th, The Phillies are on like their last relief pitcher, some dude who I've never heard of before. Kirkering, I think is his name.
Yes, he wasn't their last relief pitcher.
Yeah.
He was,
seemed like he was the last relief
He was their
pitcher.
seventh inning guy for most of the year.
But it seemed like last night he was the last relief pitcher because he was the last relief pitcher for them. So here's what happened. So the Dodgers load the bases up. We have 2 outs. Ground ball should get you out of the inning. Any ground ball that gets you out of the inning, right? And they get exactly what they need. Ground ball right back to the mound. Kirkering bobbles it, and then he has to make a decision. Once he gathers the baseball, you have a choice. We'll show you a still photograph right here of what happened. You could either throw home, but wait a minute, your own catcher, Realmuto, is pointing to first base. He's like, don't throw it to me, throw it to him.
It's 2 outs. Go to
2
first.
outs.
Go to
Plus,
first.
the guy running from third home is, and they did like someone did like a geometrical thing on it.
He's way closer to
He
home.
was 35 feet from home.
Right.
Okay, so 35 feet, just about 10 yards from home, right?
Right.
The dude running to first base was 55 feet from first base. So almost double the amount of time.
People can see it for the video watchers. I mean, my goodness.
That is an easy out. All he has to do is plant his feet, turn and throw an easy fastball right over to first base. It is a generic baseball play. We see him every game, every year. But my man Kirkering panicked. He panicked.
He did.
First, he bobbles the ball. And I've actually, as much as I enjoyed the Giants win over the Eagles, I'm getting joy out of it. There's a small part of me that felt absolutely nothing but greatness watching the Philadelphia Phillies lose in the way they lost.
Why?
I know it makes me a bad guy.
Why Mets fan? Why Yankees fan? Why? It's not like
because
your
of
team
that.
won. Not like your team won anything.
Because Philly, and I'll say this. I feel bad for the guy.
I do too.
I feel bad for Kirkering because that now defines his career, and I know nothing about his career before this. I never heard his name before.
Right.
So now I know the guy, and I know him because of what happened. And on a human level, I do want to say this. I feel bad for Kirkering as a human being.
I do too.
And I hope he has friends who look after him because the next 48 hours are going to be very tough, and Philadelphia is going to murder him. There's no doubt about that because you people don't have any souls.
What are you talking about?
But,
he blew the game. I mean, what do you mean no
okay,
souls?
now glad you said that. Kirkering is not the reason the Phillies lost the game.
Not the only reason.
You have Trey Turner, you have Bryce Harper, you have JT Realmuto, and you have Kyle Schwarber. You have 4 guys between them are making just under $1 billion. They are all paid to hit the baseball. You went into the 11th inning last night with a single run scored, and Cy Young wasn't pitching against you. All right? Nolan Ryan wasn't pitching against you. You faced damn near every pitcher on that Dodger roster not named Clayton Kershaw, right? And you couldn't scratch out a single run. So Kirkering's the fall guy. He has to take it because of how the game ended.
Yeah.
But you never would have needed Kirkering to be in that spot if one of your 4 combined guys making $1 billion could have scratched across a single run in that game and forced the game 5 back in Philly tomorrow night. So yell and scream all you want. Again, I loved watching the Dodgers win, but on a human level, I've got a heart. I've got a soul. I feel bad for Kirkering. Remember a couple years ago, or maybe it was last year, when Trey Turner was playing like crap,
they
and
gave
Philly
him
decided
standing ovation
to do the most anti-Philly thing of all time, and standing ovation,
I hated
and then he balled out afterwards.
Yeah, but I hated
I'm like,
it.
that worked.
Yeah, to the playoffs.
I hope that Kirkering gets the same kind of reception when he gets home.
Yeah,
because I'm worried about that guy.
That's not going to happen. But for the record, though, Ohtani and Mookie Betts and all those guys, they only gotten 1 run. If he throws the first, it still would have been just 1 run.
So the other pitchers did a good job. Kirkering's the fall guy. I'm with you. He's going to take all the abuse and all the focus of your attention.
He shouldn't get abused.
Because he was the guy that effed up at the end and he panicked. 100%. We all, from a factual standpoint, Kirkering's got to eat it. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But how about the guys that make a lot more money than him? $1 billion almost in salary. You can't get a second run.
They can't come back.
You can't get 2 runs. And I got to tell you this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. The Phillies loss last night made me forget the Yankees got eliminated.
What?
I'm completely past it now emotionally. I'm in a really good spot emotionally. Coming up, another live from LeBron and more from last night. Coming up. Don't touch it.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
Are we going to sit here today and acknowledge that the Indianapolis Colts right now are the best team in the AFC?
They are right now.
They can run the football with Taylor. They got a competent quarterback the way he's playing right now in Daniel Jones. They are well coached.
They never punt.
They never punt.
They never punt.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
I told you Vladimir Guerrero would hit a home run. He hits a home run on his first pitch. 2-run shot, 2-0 Jays. And I gave you Suarez earlier. I'm telling you, Scott, Contreras last night, Story the other night. Bro, every night I've been hitting these home run props. And not the easy Ohtani ones at old plus 190. Right. These are plus 450s, baby.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Florida State put up 498 rushing yards on this defense. 8 rushing touchdowns, and they almost averaged 10 yards per carry.
Tough scene.
I mean, you got to be kidding me. It should be 60 to 7.
Yeah. Give me the 7.
I just gave you the 7.
Exactly. And
are you
the
on this?
Point. I'm thinking field goal and maybe a
but
safety.
But are you on
Joe.
this? This is your best bet? Okay.
Didn't you read the screen? What, are you not paying attention to the show?
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. It's sadly a bit of a burial in Philadelphia. 0-3 last night. Phillies get eliminated. Eagles are now a broken, fractured team. Might be out of first place before Halloween. And, of course, the Flyers. Nobody cares about hockey. They lost also. A couple other things, though, cooking. Remember last week we saw LeBron James dancing and hanging out with Kai Cenat on that Mafia-thon, thingamajig, raising, subscribers and all that. Looked pretty good, looked pretty healthy. We've seen a lot of LeBron lifting weights and looking swolled up and strong. Mm-hmm. Well, big announcement yesterday from the Lakers. That's a week ago. That's LeBron during the Mafia-thon thing that Kai Cenat and those guys are doing, right? Yeah. Looked pretty good, looked pretty healthy to me right there.
He did.
Yeah, right. Remember when he put out his own video of him working out with like 125 pounds on the barbell, doing squats and whatnot? I mean, he's in great shape, obviously, right? Yeah. And then, of course, he did the big Hennessy reveal. Looked great, walking to the chair, drinking some Hennessy.
That had been recorded.
Well, it looked fantastic. Yeah. So it comes out yesterday that LeBron James is out for 3 or 4 weeks minimum.
Yeah.
Will miss the start of this NBA season because he has sciatica. Sciatica is an old person's disease, which it's like pain that radiates from your lower back, usually down one of your legs. That's the stereotypical sciatica. Yeah. And normally you hear like your grandfather complain about back pain, oh my God, and it goes down the leg, and it's not fun, right? It's very rare for a well-conditioned athlete in his prime, or even just past his prime, to have sciatica, unless you're like, I suppose, like one of these guys that's like a heavy weightlifter, and you're using your lower back muscles a lot, that kind of thing. And I'm calling BS on it.
Well, why?
Because I just saw him dancing last week, and that's not to do with sciatica, right? I hate to be that guy, but this seems to be the current norm for LeBron, where he's not ready to, either going into like an all-star break or to start a season or doing a quote-unquote meaningless part of the season and disappears. Now, I want to be very careful and clear how I say this, because I don't know what he's doing or not doing. Would you be surprised at all if we find out that LeBron is on vacation, I don't know, in Europe over the course of the next week or two, or 3 to 4 weeks, while he's not playing basketball in the NBA? Would you be further surprised that when he comes back from that European vacation, if he suddenly is able to run and play basketball like a kid half his age? Would that surprise anybody out there?
Of course not. It's LeBron James.
Of course not.
Right. Why would it surprise me?
You're going down the road that I'm considering that perhaps it's not sciatica. And he has lied about injuries before. Remember when he claimed that he wouldn't have been able to play in Game 6 last year in the playoffs had they not been eliminated because all of a sudden he had some type of MCL sprain.
Yeah.
And literally the next day he was dancing, right?
Yeah.
And doing like the move with your knees where you can't do that if you got sprained MCL.
Yeah, like a version of the butterfly felt like, yeah.
So, I get it. And if he is doing what I think he might be doing in Europe, to guarantee that he's able to go play 65 games this year.
And possibly make a playoff run.
And maybe make the playoffs and make a run with Luka and whatnot. As a fan, if I were a Laker fan, I support it. I support it 100%. I just would rather not be lied to. That's all. And I'm convinced that's what this is all about. And I want to be clear. I'm not accusing him of doing it. I'm not saying he is doing it. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if that's what this ruse is all about. It just seems very weird to me that he all of a sudden has sciatica out of the blue that we've never heard of before, and we know everything about him because he's a public figure for so long. And then all of a sudden, 3 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, he's going to show up and play 40 minutes a game and look like he's 25 years old again. There's a reason cats go to Europe when they need some help physically and medically to be able to play the level they want to play at.
Yeah, Kobe was the first. Kobe was the first that we knew about.
Why
Rest in peace.
Why
Kobe.
that?
He was the first.
What? No, not the first.
He was the first we knew about.
Not the first.
Who was the first we knew about?
That's typical LeBron fan action.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about LeBron, and you got to bring Kobe into it.
I was only trying to help the fans.
I heard some clown on TV talking about the LeBron Hennessy thing, and he brought up Michael Jordan.
Why?
I didn't say the name
I don't know anything about Michael Jordan.
I didn't say the name Kobe Bryant.
I was only talking. Steve Nash also went
I didn't say the name Steve Nash.
After Kobe, Nash
I'm talking about one dude.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
You had said athletes went to Germany.
I'm saying that
you said
if he
athletes.
played for my team and it made him more capable of playing, I encourage it.
All right.
And I'm not sure 100% that he's doing it. I'm just saying this dude don't have no sciatica problems.
Okay.
And for me, I guarantee you he shows up in Europe at some point in the next month. And when he does, you can all come back to me and go, aha. But I don't know why you got to besmirch Kobe Bryant's memory.
What are you talking about? Kobe was open about it. That he got a procedure done for his knee and for his thumb because he had tears in the thumb that he said wasn't available in America. That's all. And then Steve Nash also, who ended up being a teammate of his briefly.
I got my eye on you now. You're one of them LeBron guys.
All I'm saying
and
is...
you're a Philly dude. You can't be a LeBron guy.
I'm not a LeBron guy.
You sound like a LeBron guy.
What I'm saying is that I didn't disagree with anything you said.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. Like I've said in baseball, you know, I encourage my favorite baseball players to do as many steroids as possible.
Well, I don't.
I do. I know it shortens your lifespan, and that's your deal. But if it makes you capable of hitting more home runs, and that helps my team win more games, like do it. Like I encourage athletes.
Don't get caught.
Don't get caught. Don't get suspended.
Right.
But if you can do some type of drug and you don't mind shortening your life, and that helps my team win, like why wouldn't I support that? You're not raising my kids. I'm not friends with you. You know,
right.
I'd feel bad if you die because I'm that guy. I have a soul and a heart, and I'm a good dude. But I wish more New York Mets and Yankees did steroids. I wish.
Well,
100%.
See, here's the thing. Before,
why do you think A-Rod was so good in 2009? I think he should have done them again in 2010.
You brought up steroids.
Mike Piazza was accused of doing steroids. He denies it. When Mike Piazza flew out to center field against Mariano Rivera in the World Series, the first thing I said was, dude didn't shoot up. I wish he had.
Because the ball would have flown a little further.
If Mike Piazza had cycled at the right time before that game, that ball goes out of Shea Stadium, and the Mets might win the 2000 World Series. So shame on you for not doing steroids.
Yeah, he lives in Italy now.
That's how I see it.
Speaking of, Europe, he lives in Italy now. Maybe LeBron will see him while he's over there.
Maybe he will.
Yeah, because he lives in Italy
Maybe that's why Mike moved to Italy.
That's why.
Hey, but now that Trump bought Columbus Day back, Mike might be moving back.
Mike will come back to New York. Columbus Day is back, and so am I. He's back there.
That's right. Like, Joe Piscopo can only be the headline of that parade for so many years.
Can't do it every year.
You have to go find another Italian-American to come on back.
Also, deep tan makes me uncomfortable, Mike Piazza. Johnson's current tan.
Is that right?
Looks closer like he's part of me than you, perhaps. If you see my fiance right now, deep tan right now.
He might be. He might be.
But going back to LeBron,
yeah,
I'm not saying that anything you said was incorrect.
Yeah,
I was only saying that he
learned it from someone else.
Yeah,
that's what you're getting at.
Yes.
Okay. Listen. I'll let that.
I learned it from you, like that commercial.
Yeah, the truck commercial.
Dad knows he's a crackhead. He goes, "Where'd you learn how to do this stuff?"
I learned it from watching you, Dad.
You.
We got time or no? I can take a break or no?
I got a minute and a half.
Minute and a half. Oh man. All right. So let me say. I want to say before I will get to the most overrated quarterback in college football history after the break.
Yeah.
But let me just say this. A woman of the cloth, Sister Jean. You watch her with Loyola Marymount. For the last number of years in the tournament as the biggest fan on the sideline. Unfortunately, she passed away, I guess, last night. And how old was she? 100-something, right? 106 years old.
From Loyola University.
Loyola University, pardon me. And they were doing a in memoriam thing for her. Well-deserved. What a great woman she was and a great fan. But she also was involved in a lot of our country's greatest sports moments.
She was.
Not just March Madness. A lot of you remember when she used to spar with Muhammad Ali. I don't know, you guys remember that. She was also in Hershey, Pennsylvania, when Will Chamberlain scored 100 points in the game, which no other player has ever done. But there she is right there.
There she was.
And what a lot of people don't know is that Billy Preston, who has the nickname the Fifth Beatle, he was not the first guy to have that nickname. She showed the guys Abbey Road. Yeah, she was like, guys, I know this great street we can walk across. Traffic will stop. We could probably take a photograph.
She was only like 40 there.
Just want to send our prayers and thoughts to her family, to the Loyola family. She was everything right about sports and was always fun to see her on TV cheering on the Loyola kids and had a little fun with that, but our thoughts should go out to her family. Coming up, Arch Manning. Can he win a big game against a good team? Probably not. We're going to do that right after this.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
This one's for you, Tommy Reynolds. I know you're a Rochester Americans guy, but the big team, the Buffalo Sabres, at home against the listless Rangers. Can we get plus 102? We can in overtime. Knockaroo does it again. Buffalo over the Rangers.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Are we going to sit here today and acknowledge that the Indianapolis Colts right now are the best team in the AFC?
They are right now.
They can run the football with Taylor. They got a competent quarterback, the way he's playing right now, in Daniel Jones. They are well coached.
They never punt.
They never punt.
They never punt.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Question, where's the $100,000 going? Like, if I'm going to give it to Amari DiMercato as an apology? It does give us a little bit of insight, though, into that moment. Like, I wondered what Gannon had said to DiMercato there. It obviously did, it cost Arizona a football game in a division that they cannot afford. But that is an interesting one.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Huge weekend of sports coming up, so some news and notes of things we don't have a lot of time to get to really in depth, but you need to know about. Texas is Oklahoma. What do we call that game, Tyrone?
Red River Shootout.
The Red River Shootout. And this is another chance for Arch Manning to quiet all the haters out there. The most overrated, disappointing quarterback in college football history. A guy that was supposed to carry Texas to a national championship. You see his numbers right there. Embarrassing. embarrassing. Oklahoma's a top 10 team. Texas on the outside looking in. And let's call it the way it is. The expectation in this game is that Arch Manning struggles. Throws a bunch of interceptions. I think they'll keep the game close because there's a lot of other talent on the team. And at some point, if Oklahoma wins, and it's damn near a pick'em game, right? Oklahoma's favored by a point, maybe?
Point and a half. Yeah, they're 6th in the nation.
Yeah, and they're the 6th-ranked team. This is Texas's season right here. And thus far, we have never seen Arch Manning as the starting quarterback for Texas come up big against a really good opponent in a big spot. When Texas plays bad schools, he dominates just like he did playing against slow white kids in high school. The reality now is that his career at Texas will be defined if this is another bad game, and he's part of the reason that Texas loses to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a better team, higher ranked. They can't afford to lose this game either. And my gut is you get one of those 212-yard, 3-interception, 1-touchdown type games. And if they can't run the ball against Oklahoma and they're relying on Arch Manning to make plays with his arm, it is a wrap. That kid ain't ready to play in big-time college football based on what we've seen yet. And I don't know why we'll say anything different on Saturday.
And one more thing. He came into the season as the Heisman favorite. Ironically, John Mateer, who's going to play Oklahoma's quarterback.
Yeah, he got hurt, but
he's back, right? But he's back. He's now 2nd in the odds to win the Heisman. If he has a big game against them, that makes it even worse.
That's a really good point, because then you're going to see a kid that is a legitimate NFL prospect and is a kid that can carry a top-level college football program. So if you're a Texas fan, just ask yourself the question, do you trust Arch Manning to win this game? The answer is no. Do you trust Mateer to win this game for Oklahoma? The answer is you bet your ass we do. He's the better quarterback. Yeah. Oklahoma has the better quarterback. Do you guys remember that dude? I think he came out of Kansas. He's in the NBA. Grady Dick.
Yes.
You guys remember that kid, right?
Yeah.
He's in the NBA now.
Caucasian shooter.
Yeah, like most of us.
I'm just saying, Caucasian shooter.
Well, apparently this offseason, he grew.
Yeah.
He grew like a full inch. And, I mean, the headline is Dick grew an inch. Grady Dick, that is. Yeah. But, I mean, it's arguably, you're not going to get a better headline than that because you can't get in trouble for saying it.
Yeah.
Right? And he did it without even shaving.
Without even shaving, because the optical itch doesn't count. Optical itch doesn't count. It's this real itch we're talking about here, fellas. But
I got an inch and a half, but it didn't count, like you said.
Optical itch. She'll like it, though.
So, and speaking of basketball, we all saw the video yesterday of Jason Tatum on a basketball court, dunking, not like crazy windmill dunking, but stationary, you'll see right there, going up and dunking. So being able to press up off the bad Achilles and landing on it.
Yeah.
And there is talk in Boston, and much of it's coming directly from Jason Tatum, that the original thought process was you'll see in the spring. It's a year injury plus some, especially for basketball players.
So maybe missed the whole season.
Right. But now the thought process is that he is healing at a crazy fast rate. And don't be surprised if you see Jason Tatum on a basketball court in the regular season right around the All-Star break or just after, which would be a crazy return.
It would be.
And it still doesn't stop the Knicks from winning the division, obviously, or being the number 1 seed. But I would tell you this, if Jason Tatum is 100% and is back on a court within a month of the postseason, the Celtics become a problem.
Absolutely.
And that would be, my biggest fear as a Knicks fan, the Cavs' biggest fear. If you're a big Donovan Mitchell guy, or any other Eastern team, all of a sudden the Celtics become a problem if he's 100%. And I think you got to get a full month of basketball in before the playoffs start to really be at your best and not be on a limits restriction. But that was a crazy story that I saw come out.
And apparently part of the reason why he did something that basically no one's ever done, he had his surgery immediately.
Yes, which I always think is the next day he had
the next day, which is the quickest of any of the high-profile athletes, such as Kevin Durant and others. He went the quickest to get the surgery, and that's perhaps why this is happening.
I have breaking news. I'm sorry. This just in. Let me just make sure it's from a reliable source and not Brick Center. Yep, it's a reliable source. Breaking news. I love when we get breaking news right in the middle of our show.
Oh, yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles lost to the New York Giants last night. They're a fractured, broken team going in the wrong direction, and you can now look at the possibility of them losing 4 consecutive games. Put up their schedule, guys, real quick. The Philadelphia Eagles have the Vikings, then they have the team that just beat them by 17 points, and then the bye week. And after the bye week, you go Green Bay, Detroit, back-to-back. There is a chance, albeit unlikely, but there is a chance that your Philadelphia Eagles go from 4-0. They went to 4-1. Now they're 4-2. They could go to 4-3. The Giants own them right now, so that brings them to 4-4 going into the bye week.
Own them because of one game.
One game. The Giants are not afraid of the Eagles anymore.
A short week.
And they're not afraid of Jalen Hurts. And now here's the reality in Philly. Jalen Hurts is now under fire and under the microscope. Because all the people that said Jalen Hurts isn't any good are now crowing about his performance last night.
Well, what's the breaking news?
Could you imagine if the Eagles, let's just play this out. You lose to Minnesota 4-3. You lose to the Giants 4-4. The bye week, there's rumors about trading people who are disgruntled there. A.J. Brown and others, I don't think he's tradable.
You can't trade him.
You then play the Packers. Wow. Packers are now playing for their division lives, so they beat you. Now you're 4-5. The Lions put a 40 burger on you. Now you're 4-6. And then you get the rematch against the team with the best offense in football right now, the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles could be 4-7 before they play the Ravens with Lamar Jackson back.
No, that's the Bears. They play the Bears.
Oh, I can't see.
They play the Bears.
You beat the Bears.
Then they play at the Chargers. Then they play the Raiders.
All right. I thought that's a Cowboys.
Listen. It's not going to be that bad. I mean, you're going too far. But right now, we're wounded, so enjoy it.
Yes,
because you won't be able to enjoy it for long.
By the way, I'm a Jet fan. I get no joy out of football unless teams I don't like lose. I want to be clear. Mock me all you want. I got the worst team of football that I root for. Coming up, some thoughts on the big games this weekend. And Tyrone's got his hot picks coming up as well. Don't touch it. Much more football coming.
Keep this on me for now, right now. I was the one telling the people out here, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, if they lost the first 2 football games of the season, would still be in the hunt to make a college football playoff. I talked to Joe Lisi quite a bit during the week, and you know what Joe Lisi's been telling me? Notre Dame just might be the best football team in the country right now, and I believe him. I do. Rolling over teams. The offense is out there right now, and I don't think anybody can stop them.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Is it going to be Gabriel over the next 4 or 5 weeks? Or is it going to be?
I know.
Is it going to, but that's where they're at right now, because that mentality, changes. We go from rebuild at 1-3 to all of a sudden at 2-3, the bell goes off, and he in his head, probably drinking a beer at night, goes, "Hey, I can get this team to the playoffs."
Listen,
but that's the way these coaches think.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
So let's just start right there. Malik Neighbors, Tyreek Hill, done for 2025. Think of the managers that invested the draft capital. Man, oh man, what to do?
Yeah, this is really tough. I had people message me, man, I had Neighbors and Hill, and I lost them both in the same week. That's tough. It's a tough day at the office for sure. And that's why you watch us here on FST, Fantasy Sports Today. We're trying to help you.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
At this event, people from Amazon and Alexa made it very clear that in addition to Sports Highlight coming up, you will be able to perhaps buy sports tickets to events, buy movie tickets, arrange fantasy football teams, and I think somewhere down the road, maybe not too far down the road, given the NBA on Prime deal, they will allow sports betting on the television set through Alexa Plus.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Some really good NFL games this weekend. Most notably, you got Detroit, Kansas City. In Kansas City, they're favored by a couple points. They're looking at 2-4, by the way. Yeah, and Detroit right now is better. I thought Kansas City was starting to get their mojo back, and then Jacksonville kind of gave everyone a blueprint to how to beat them. Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the world, but this is a huge game again for them. Now, the last time they had a huge game, it was against the Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens were all banged up. That's where Lamar hurts the hamstring. And they embarrassed the Ravens. So they answered the bell, and they get credit for that. This is a different animal right now. This is a very healthy Detroit Lion team that's playing their asses off right now. And I'm actually surprised Kansas City is a small favorite in this game. And I love Mahomes, but you're looking at 2-4. And Detroit, I think, is the better football team. Doesn't mean Kansas City won't win the game. It just sucks for us that we got to wait till Sunday night to see it.
Yeah.
And I know Kansas City is very popular, and you got Mahomes. Dude, 3 consecutive weeks, Sunday night or Monday night.
It's too much.
Like, how about you make them play 1 o'clock somewhere else?
Once.
Like, right?
Yeah, once.
Just once in a while. Make them get on a plane and travel somewhere to play an early game. But that is obviously the game of the week, Detroit and Kansas City.
We have another doubleheader on Monday.
Yeah, which I hate. I assume they're the late game, or no? Am I wrong?
No, the thing is, they're basically at the same
they're
time.
Sunday night.
You have the Bills Atlanta at the first game. Then only 1 hour later, you have Washington versus the Bears.
Right.
So they overlap.
Which sucks.
I don't like it.
It's
I don't
the
like
NFL telling us again that they don't care about us at all. They only care about dollars and cents, and that's fine. We've come to look. We're addicts. We're NFL addicts. Yeah. Whenever the game's on, we'll find a way to watch them. But the NFL doesn't care about us. They never have. They never will. How about the Ravens at home? More than a touchdown underdog to the Rams.
Yeah.
If that doesn't tell you that the Ravens are done, and yet the Ravens are still the favorites to win the division.
They are.
Steelers get no love at all. The Ravens are 7-point underdogs in their own building, and yet they're still the favorites to win the division. Makes no sense to me. They got the bye week after this one.
Yeah, it's slight, but they are still. It has tightened. And if one more week, the Steelers will become the favorite.
Which brings us now to Tyrone's Hot Picks, brought to you by... Oh, nobody?
Well, insert your.
We'll get to it.
We're open for it. We're looking forward to that.
We'll get to it, though. All right, Tyrone lost last night. He had Philly. That was a homer pick. He knows it.
I made a mistake.
Lost outright. Embarrassing. But you have 3 picks for the weekend. What do you got?
Yes, I went 2 college, 1 pro. This is a challenging week for me in the NFL. 2
college, 1 pro.
Yes, first up, Ohio State minus 14.5.
Do you bet them every single week?
No, that was 2 weeks ago. This is only the second time this season. Minus 14.5 on the road. I think they're the best team. I think they're a super team.
Who are they playing?
They play at Illinois, ranked number 17.
Illinois, they got blown out by Indiana. Yep. They've kind of gone downhill since then, laying 2 touchdowns on the road.
Yep, but I think Ohio State
on the road. In a conference game.
Yep.
On the road.
Yes, you heard me.
One day you'll learn.
I feel very comfortable.
Go ahead.
Also, Florida State.
You love laying big wood.
After the early start, Florida State starting the leak, they playing Pitt I had like Pitt plus the 10.5. At Florida State. I don't think necessarily that Pitt's going to win the game, but I don't think they're going to lose by more than 10. You give me that extra half a point. I like Pitt in that game big time. Also, Pitt's quarterback is a future first-round pick. He's a true freshman starting. You heard it here first. He's a future first-round pick.
Look, I couldn't tell you the quarterback's name on Pitt, so I have no opinion on that game whatsoever. But getting points on the road like that? All right, go ahead.
And in the NFL, I like the Steelers minus 5.5 versus the Browns, mainly because I think that defense is going to trouble Gabriel. This is not a Shador Gabriel thing.
Yeah.
I just think that the Steelers are a solid football team. Yeah. The Browns have a solid defense, but a rookie quarterback against that defense is a problem.
Look, it's probably the right side of it. And they're coming off the bie week also, so they're well rested. You know, the only issue there is, as good as the Browns defense is and has been a month into the season, you know, telling a team you got to beat them by 6 or more for you to cover is the only thing that would scare me about that. If you are going to wager, please have a plan going into it.
Yes.
It is very hard to win. Do not bet parlays. You will never win a parlay, so don't think you'll be the one guy that wins a 10-leg parlay. And if you do lose the bet you made at 1 o'clock, don't throw bad money or good money after bad money at 4 o'clock and then at 8:15 and then again on Monday.
Both Monday games.
Have a plan. Stick to it. If you lose, live to fight another day. Do not chase bad losses. It is a guaranteed recipe to have no money in your bank account. And good luck. Always hope you guys all win. This weekend.
Is this euphoria for you going to last all the way through the weekend?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah. I'm
Grand Marnier.
This is like a 3-day New Year's Eve celebration for me. Yeah, that's right. My wife was supposed to go to the Chris Stapleton concert down at Hollywood Hard Rock.
Yeah, what happened?
Dude canceled the concert yesterday. And I got a rule of thumb about that. I love Stapleton. Seen him twice live.
Legit.
He's great. You can't cancel a show 48 hours before the show. The only thing worse than that in my life, we were going to see Lionel Richie last year at Madison Square Garden. He canceled the show an hour after he was supposed to start. He said he couldn't get to New York from Boston. No joke.
From Boston?
We were walking into the Garden, and the show got canceled.
Come on, Lionel.
So Lionel Richie's banned from my playlist. Have a great weekend. Hope your favorite team wins, unless they come from Philly. And we'll see you Monday at 11 right here.